Start the recording. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmaster club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. I am Nzinga Jas, your Sergeant at Arms of the meeting. Dear members and guests, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. As your timer today, I will keep my virtual hand up so we can all immediately see who is keeping on time. Our Toastmaster of the day, who will lead our meeting, is Guarda Felix. Hi, Guarda. Guarda is an author, a spiritual life coach specializing in conscious listening, a diversity, equity, and inclusion facilitator, and a distinguished Toastmaster. This year, Guarda is District 86 Pathway Chair. She is captivated by the subject of branding as she is in the process of rebranding herself. Please help me welcome our Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Guarda Felix.
Thank you, Nzinga. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word Coca-Cola or Disney or even Leadership Speak? The power of branding is indisputable. But what is branding really? And why does it matter so much? Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, did you know that 77% of consumers make purchases based on brand recognition and trust? Branding is more than just a logo. It's how customers perceive you, your entire business, and how the world in general view you. Branding is the process of shaping how your company, product, service is perceived by the world. As mentioned before, it is not only about logos and colors. It's about the emotions, the values, and experiences that come to mind when someone interacts with you and your business. Simply put, branding is you. And it is also critical for businesses and customers because a good brand allows customers not only to recognize you, but also to differentiate you from other competitors. Strong branding builds trust, which leads to customers' loyalty. It delivers on its promise. Be your word. Good branding connects with customers on an emotional level, making them more likely to engage and choose your brand over others. Here are 3 key points I want you to remember in order for you to bring or to have an irresistible and even captivating brand. First, there is brand identity, which are visuals and voice, logos, color schemes, fonts, and tone of voice all contribute to a cohesive identity. Number two, brand message. It needs to be clear, consistent, and it is about your company's purpose, values, and offerings. It is your identity. And number three, customer experience. Every touch point, from customer service to the product experience, contributes to the brand's overall perception. Customer experience. For example, we have leadership speak. And in leadership speak, we know that the values, or one of the values, is excellence. From beginning to end, we experience every Saturday the brand of leadership speak. It is important to emphasize that consistency in branding builds trust and reinforces the brand's identity. Whether you go through your website, your social media platforms, or advertisements, the message and visuals should align to create a unified experience. It's the long-term strategy. It is that strategy that will help you to stay top of mind. You will hear later today more about branding, but those three key points I wanted to bring to your attention. And now it is my pleasure to call on the toast. Please welcome Luciano Zhao.
As a leader, building an irresistible brand, it's important. It's building your trademark. That's what makes you recognizable. And you need to focus on building your executive presence as a leader. What's executive presence? Executive presence is your ability to command, to inspire confidence while you speak. The ability of people respecting you, communication through action. Those are things that you need to have in order to build executive presence. That will build your brand as a leader. It's extremely important. There are a couple aspects when you focus on building your brand that you need to work on, because that will help you to build your executive presence. By building your executive presence, you are building your brand, which is important. A couple of those things are confidence. You have to be able to show confidence when you speak. Speak with confidence that people trust what you say. Your ability to make decisions, it's important. You make decisions and you stick by those decisions. That shows confidence. However, you also need communication skills. When you speak clearly. People can understand what you're saying and be able to change your communication style according to your audience or the environment where you are. That's important. You also need to work on your appearance. Body language is extremely important. When you're interacting with people, your body language needs to be one that shows confidence. Open arms, don't close your arms. That helps you build your appearance and body language. You need to work on your vision. You be able to communicate, articulate your vision clearly. That's extremely important when you're working in building your executive presence. At the end of the day, when you work on your executive presence, you are building your brand as a leader. Unmute yourself, raise your glasses here to building your leadership brand. Here to building your leadership brand.
Your
Building
leadership
your
brand.
leadership
Build
brand.
your leadership brand.
Thank you. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zhao. We are building our leadership brand. And now it is time to call our timer, Nzinga Jase. Nzinga, please share your role. Thank you.
Hi, as the timer today, I shall time you and everybody else according to the times on the agenda. After each session, I shall post them in the chat box. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nzinga. And now it is time for the grammarian to share with us the purpose of his role. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ray Rivero.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. As a grammarian, I have 3 key roles. One is to count the number of times that we use the word of the day, captivating. Where Greta has already used it once, I encourage you all to use it when you speak during this meeting. It means attracting and holding the attention of interest, such as the newly fallen snow turns our real-life world of brown grass and gray skies into a captivating fairyland. And I should say to our Leadership Speak members who live in warmer climates, maybe as the ice machine spills out into the street. I also will take a look and hear about improper usage, quotes and words that were said, and the occasional counter role where we use filler words where a pause or another effect for our speech can be used, such as the use of or so, and the infamous double clutches. That's my role. And I do have one suggestion. Would it be all right that if I could put my hand pinned, so I can pin this screen so people can be reminded of the word? Would that be okay?
Sure, for me, there's not a problem.
Okay, Madam Toastmasters, thank you. I'll get that up in a moment. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Now that we have introduced the role players, it is time for the prepared speeches. I hope that you all are excited to hear all of them, and not only hear, but to listen to all of them. As self-directed leaders, please know that your presence is already captivating. And now I would like to call on the first speaker, but before I do that, I would call on his evaluator. But first, the first speaker for the day is Nigel Thew. And Nigel will speak about the importance of humor in his life and the power of laughter. And now please help me welcome his evaluator, John Ojifo.
Toastmaster of the day, we start with LS Education Speak.
Yes, you are right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Really, you stressed me
Oh,
out.
for all this preparation. Okay, Nigel, please.
I'm not psychologically ready.
I went past and I don't know why, because it is there. My apologies. And now we are going to call on the education speaker. And I have mentioned this in the beginning of my speech. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Atul Sankar. Can we find him?
Yeah, do I start or I think
No,
the
hang a
manager will
second.
introduce?
Just a second. Gerda, what you got to do is call Atul and then call his evaluator. The evaluator will
Oh,
explain
yes,
what is
thank you,
doing.
Bram.
So,
Absolutely, thank you.
so Master, if you can spotlight Gerda as well, thank you. And I'll go ahead and ask the evaluator for the objectives.
Good evening, everyone. The project.
Thank you.
The project
Thank
for.
you.
Okay, please go ahead.
Let me welcome you, because that's what I would like to do, please. Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the education evaluator, Zoom Master Paramjit.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The Atul Sankar is speaking from his fifth level, and the purpose statement for the project is: the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech and present a keynote style speech exemplifying a professional level speaker's point of view or message in a style that supports the speech content. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paramjit. And now please help me welcome our education speaker, Toastmaster Atul Sankar. Atul?
Hello. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I will be speaking branding beyond business, leadership in action. As we all know, it is the quality that is given by the company, by the service when we are buying or receiving a service. So, what is a brand? A brand? When I was a kid, I always used to like brand. My father used to tell me, "Oh, this guy is just spending my money, always buying the branded things. Why does he want the branded things? He's just looting my pocket, emptying my pocket." These were the dialogues received by my father. But I was really fascinated by the word brand when I was a kid too, because whenever I used to buy a branded thing, I used to receive good quality. It used to make sure the finishing was good and using it was fine texture. And wherever I used to go, I used to really enjoy it, and people would really honor me. Oh, this guy is using the brand. So I also used to brag. Yeah? You know me, right? I'm rich. You know me, right? Just being yourself. That's how I am. I believe brand was building myself, and it used to build me and my character as well. Brand is not just a logo, I say it's about the quality, it's about the value it gives, the emotions, trust, the loyalty, the promise, the feel, the highness, and the honor that really it gives you. Just example, and they really work with excellence and with research that makes it a brand, a brand. Let us see, for example, we buy a shoe from Nike or shoe from Skechers. Just for an example, this is two brands which I really like in the sportswear. When you buy a Nike, you feel, the showrooms are very well built, very clean. The quality of the product is really nice, and you will see the advertisement with the big stars, and the advertisements are really creative, engaging, and they have this service. They promise me that till 10,000 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers, the shoe won't get spoiled, and you will see it really doesn't get spoiled. Even another 1,000 kilometers is my experience with Nike. And the finishing, the touch, and the materials they use is so good that we find, okay, it's an extra penny, extra dollar we are ready to give, because we know that, even I know that that extra I'm paying, it's really paying me. It's increasing my brand. It's increasing my quality. It's increasing and whenever I buy, I make sure the money is not lost. Another way I buy a cheap good, which is maybe 10x or 5x the price of that of a Nike shoe. But as soon as I start wearing it, it is also written, it's a very good shoe and a guarantee of 1,000 kilometers. But that 1,000 kilometers will not last. As soon as I put my shoe into my sole, the shoe gets torn or small stitches start dwelling down. Then I experience, oh, just within 100 kilometers, my shoe has already got rotten and torn up, and I'm not able to use it well. So the promise, the quality, and the value, the loyalty, the excellence which was promised by the other company did not meet. So you cannot consider that as a brand. A brand is an authenticity. A brand is what they promise and they deliver it. And this is why I choose brand. And today, as I'm going to speak branding beyond business, this is what business is. And now we're going to speak how branding really helps for the leaders and the leadership in action. Leaders as brand ambassador. Let me give you a few examples as leaders as brand ambassador. When you hear the word Tesla, people are not fascinated by Tesla. People are fascinated by Elon Musk. Elon Musk for his innovation. When people hear the word Elon Musk, they say innovative, creative, multitasking, and he can do something wondrous in the world. That is Elon Musk. When you hear the word Indra Nooyi, it's for influence of leadership, which made a company so big. And this is not just words, importance of authenticity and integrity. Authenticity and integrity, I repeat again. Because when they're having the crisis, when they're having the tough situations, these leaders, they play a key role and show the right path, not just by speaking, but by handling the tough situations and turning down the company or institution up to down or down to up based on the conditions. So every person is represented by a brand. Let us take an example of DTM Brahm Memon. DTM, when you hear the word Brahm, because I'm just here in this club, just because of Brahm, I don't know what is leadership speak. I know Brahm is a good leader and a good mentor who I can trust. So I believe he's an authentic leader. I believe he is hardworking. I believe when I hear the word Brahm, I see he's expert and he's a giver. He would surely mentor as he promises. And you would see Brahm has never been missing any meeting. I have not observed, he has not missed any of the meetings and he has been very punctual. And I hope I learned that critical thinking, the deep work ethic, and deep emotional intelligence. And this is what when we hear the word Brahm is what I feel. And that's what it determines, okay, this is how leadership speak is. I've been part of 2 or 3 Advanced Toastmasters Club. But when I hear each Toastmasters Club, Advanced Toastmasters Club, it's not the club, it is the people, key person who's really managing or who is the founder of the club, who's maintaining that values. Example for if you take my club, you people think, yeah, it's a good club, a physical club. They know I'm jolly, they know I'm friendly, they know I make the things done. But I don't. It's not that they say it's not an advanced club. They say, yeah, these are the few attributes. Your attributes determine your organization. Your attributes determine your institution, whether it's a profit motive, non-profit motive, or anywhere. That's you represent you. Because remember, company is an artificial person. As for the company's act two, it's an artificial person, but the persons who are in the company are representing it. So when I know some few leaders who just speak, who like to brag things, who just speak, just like that. Politicians. I'm sorry to hurt if any politicians are there in our club today. I'm really sorry for that. I didn't mean you. But when you see the politicians, they speak well. They come on the stage with a good suit like me, and they speak with authenticity. They speak very generous, but when the time of delivery, they will not be there. Every time they're stealing money and they're escaping from the government, and they're never there in the government, and they're never there in the crisis management. But an authentic leader or authentic politician will always be there at the time of crisis, at the time of hardship of the country, and he'll be a servant leader. That is why when people choose leaders, the good leaders and bad leaders. When a good leader, then you cannot hide that, day one, day two, day three. But day 100, you know who you are. People working with you will decide who you are. That is an authentic leader, because when we speak, we have to deliver. Maybe today I've been an education speaker, and what if I did not come to the meeting? Or another 10 meetings I've been told I've been taking a role. 1, 2, 3. I missed 8 of the meetings. Yes, I missed 8 of the meetings. And then I attended 2. And I sent apologies to maybe Brahm, to Hannah, to Gurudev. Just to say, my apologies, I could not do it. People will say, yeah, he has failed 10 of his meetings, only just which 3 he attended. So we cannot trust him. He's not loyal. He's not authentic. He can just take roles, but he cannot deliver it. But what if I deliver 8 of the roles and only 2 of the roles because of emergency I missed? Then yes, the trust, my words will have value to that. That is very important for leaders to build brands. We leaders, we have to create brands for ourselves. We have to make sure we are like creating a brand that is with values, and what values we determine, we are delivering it. That's what people recognize us. It also includes the PR, the public relations with the people, the the values which you have, the actions which you're determining, the integrity which you have. I cannot say that. I cannot tell, for example, I cannot tell Brahm that I'm from Tanzania, and I cannot tell Nizinga I'm from Angola. I cannot tell Hannah I'm from Namibia. That is breaking the integrity. But you should say, yes, I'm in Tanzania. I live in Tanzania. I do in Tanzania. It's whether inside or outside, everywhere. People's you're selling the trust. Yes, maybe you might be a con man. Tell, yes, I was con man before, but not now. I became good now. I learned the secrets from the leadership speak. But no, I'm not a con man anymore. So that is being honest, being integrity, being truthful. And maybe you can have your own values on your own systems. Maybe I'm good at PR and marketing. That's what people say. And some people, you might be good at your core competencies. So use your core competencies and determine your values. And that's how you should represent to everyone. Leaders have no excuses. Those people who have excuses are not leaders. So coming to the basics, branding beyond business. So as a business, as we're doing branding, we're doing branding the similar way. We're doing branding for our personal lives. We're doing personal people, our values, our systems, ourselves. That is where the key branding is important in all the life. being a brand, I take some small steps. I would like to, I'm part of CEO Roundtable in Kenya as well as in Tanzania. So I keep sharing few leadership or CEOs, maybe attributes or maybe good articles often and often and often and often because I wanted to build my brand in the club. I want to build my brand that yes, I'm a determined CEO. And what I believe is when you contribute anywhere, that is where you really grow, irrespective whether you're earning or not earning. Your contribution is the key. So, similar way, when we're having branding for the companies, the same way we should have the values, emotions, trust, loyalty, promise, and the feel when we're with you. As the previous speakers were mentioning, yes, dress up well. Always dress up well. Dress up well. Speak with nice manners. Eat well. That's how you build your brand. And do good deeds. It's always good to help. Be a selfless leader. Always, I believe, to be selfless until within your capacity. I'm not saying that I want to be a big foundation or something. No, you can do small helps. Till example, maybe where you just asked me, could you please assist me in being the grammarian or a grammarian, some tools or something? Yes, if it's possible, let me help it out. Maybe Nizinga has told me, can you assist me in getting the timer cards? Yes, if it's possible, I will surely help. Helping the small things creates you a good brand too, because they will remember you that you helped. And in the other time, maybe when you require help, they might help you, or they might they might be silent, but they won't be envy to you. I believe being selfless, these are the values that determine a person's brand. It can be anything, it can be anything. But that's how maybe some people are funny. I'm a bit funny in my conversations with my friends and all. So people, when they see me, they think, yeah, he's funny, he's enjoyable, he's respectful, he's always party, he likes business. So there are a few attributes when people see me, they remember. Similar way, when each person, we are judged by our values, by our ethics. That is the key. I'll tell you another example in my personal life. I'm into business of real estate, a small company, small and mid-sized enterprise. I bought lift for my building. Uh, it was not a original brand, but I thought to save money, maybe save money so that it could really help me to run my business, cash flows, and etc. But when I put it, my lifts were getting failed from the day one. Every now and then, lifts are getting failed. The maintenance was higher because I thought, let me save the extra 10,000 or $20,000. Let me not go to the branded. Let me go to this no, with a cheap one. But that really cost me higher. Instead, I had to replace all the lifts by the branded ones again, which cost me double the price. And that's why from that time, I always believe in brand. I want to deal with companies which are having a brand. I want to deal with people who are having a brand. I want to deal with services which are having a brand. Either I get reference from people, I get references from people saying that this company or this person is good. Because yeah, in business, I lost so much of money and so much of headache just not trusting the right people. So I created a guidelines for myself and my team that we're going to deal with this respective people. And if anybody wants to be associated, we go through a certain checklist so that would really allow us in building in having the right business direction. Example, just imagine I have another contractor. I gave him $100,000 and he told he would start the project. And instead, I didn't know he was a con man. I lost my money. But if I took the references and I did the due diligence, yeah, what is this respective person? Can I really trust him? How many are the references positive? Yes, no, and I'll have a meeting one to one. And I know that now. Yes, you want $100,000? Take this $200,000 and start the project. I know that. If not today, tomorrow he will start the project, because based on his history, based on his referrals, based on his strategy, maybe sometimes mistakes happen or some commitments not being done. But I know that this guy is a genuine guy. Genuinity is one of the key examples and key ingredients to leaders. When we are genuine, trust me, when we are genuine, people will like to work with us. When we are genuine, people will really like to work with us. We might be slow, but people will appreciate he's genuine. He's a honest guy. He's a truth guy. He does not escape. He'll not just take my money to fly to other country. No, because he's genuine. His genuinity is more important. He knows that the money given to me or any secret shared to me is under the confidentiality, and he promised, and it will be delivered as promised. But maybe due to some issues, he's not able to do, but he will do it. So this is what, friends, I think, we being also members of Leadership Speak, don't you think it's one of the, being the top one club is just not a brand like Leadership Speak. Oh, it is the top one. No, it was not like that. It was done by the results, by the members. I'm a new member, I don't know much, but I think it's done by the members, the hard work done by the members, achieving the goals, 10 on 10 DCP goals within timeline, and every time the meeting held with excellence, with a value, with perfection and training being well done. I think we all should be proud to be in the number one club of all the 15,000 clubs worldwide. And I feel we are getting more. I'm not excellent, but I'm getting towards the excellence because the trainings being in the Leadership Speak. That is making sure we are the number one club. And not only number one club in the world, but also number one advanced Toastmasters club in the world. There's so many advanced Toastmasters club. I've been part of 2 or 3 advanced Toastmasters club, but I did not find that value. I did not find that real loyalty. I don't find that consistency. And this consistency, I think, which has really made a Leadership Speak. And that made me, yes, I have to be a consistent and a long-term member. This is where I felt I'm in the right place. And concluding myself, I would just say this is all branding beyond business and leadership in action. This is all values of the value, emotions, trust, loyalty, promise, and feel, and excellence. Don't you find it in Leadership Speak? Think over it. I really feel proud for that. And the PR and marketing has been done a great job. But this is why I'm just saying about branding beyond business, leadership in action. This is the right lessons we can learn from our club to our personal lives. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for the opportunity. Has you Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atul Sankar. What a very captivating presentation. Thank you very much. I, of course, wrote in the chat my key takeaways, and I hope that all of you will have more takeaways to take.
Please.
And now, it is time. I hear something. Okay, it is time now for our first speaker, Nigel Thew. Nigel will speak about the importance of humor in his life and the power of laughter. And now I would like to call on his evaluator, John Ojefo.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Nigel is going to present his speech from the engaging humor part. Level 1, project number 1, and it's an icebreaker. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. The timer will be 4 to 6 minutes. back to you, Madam Toastmaster, and best wishes to Toastmaster Nigel.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ojefo. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Nigel Thew, Laughter and Me. Laughter and Me, Toastmaster Nigel Thew.
Thank you for that captivating introduction. Laughter has always been a good friend to me. It has seen me through some bad times, kept me positive and sane, and it has also made me a better person to have around. Fellow Toastmasters of Leadership Speak, I want to tell you what humor means to me and to explain why I think that humor is an essential element of all of our lives. I have chosen this path because I also believe that humor is an important part of being a good leader. I grew up in the UK, where humor is, I would say, a very big part of our national identity. If you can make people laugh, people appreciate you more. My father, he loved to laugh, and he would tell us the worst jokes that he could possibly find. And the louder the groan, the more he appreciated. So when we let out a huge groan, he would smile. He instilled in me a sense of fun and laughter that I've kept with me for all of my life. As I grew up and I left school and went to university, then left university, studied my professional life, humor and laughter has always been a constant companion. I have never taken myself too seriously, and I find that I have a best contact with people who have a similar outlook on life. For me, laughter has often been, humor has often been a very, a key to friendship. When you can really laugh with somebody, sit down and enjoy humor, I think you'll find that very often it means you can communicate with that person, and then you can become good friends. I love to make other people laugh, and for me, laughter is a precious gift. I have a friend who suffers quite badly from depression, and whenever I see her or speak to her on the phone, I try to make her laugh. And it gives me enormous pleasure when I hear in her voice some of the sadness and tension go out of her demeanor. There have been times in my life when humor, laughter have seen me through some, I would say, some very low moments, and they've kept me going. Some time ago, I was traveling in India, and the girlfriend I had at the time, she left me for another man during that holiday. I don't know if you can imagine what that feels like. I felt awful. I felt so low and so sad. I was lost. One day I was walking through a park in Delhi when I saw a group of people gathered around. I was a bit curious, and I went over to approach them, and suddenly all of them started laughing together. Apparently it's called laughter yoga. I didn't know that at the time, but I've heard about that since. And I went over to join them, and as I shook with laughter, it started a bit slowly, but afterwards I managed to get into it, and I could feel myself relax and start to feel better. I knew I would be okay. At other times in my life, laughter, humor have been a means of escaping stress and keeping me positive. Once I was having a very, very, very bad time at work. My boss was giving me all sorts of stress, and I was so tense, and I couldn't sleep. It was a really hard time, and I heard about a course about theatre clowning, and I went on this course. And the essence of theatre clowning is to use improvisations to discover the clown that lies inside all of us. As I ran around, laughing and playing like a child, letting the inner child in me just escape and express itself. Oh, I felt so good. All these other people were the same. We could just have fun. And I could feel some of the tension and stress leave me. And yes, I was okay again, thanks to laughter. So what about leadership? So I have seen in my life that I sincerely believe that people who are able to laugh at themselves and not take themselves too seriously make the best leaders. I've noticed that these people tend to be better communicators, to be better listeners, and to have a much better relationship with their colleagues. I wonder if you've had the same experience. Fellow Toastmasters and leaders, I would like to leave you with a few words of conclusion. I think that laughter and humor should be an essential element of our lives. It certainly is in mine. If you have not laughed today, then I think you need more fun in your life. I urge all of you to have better humor health, and to share more laughter with others. If you want to be a good leader, I sincerely believe that you need to be able to laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously. I'm going to leave you with my favorite joke of all time. And the reason I like it so much is because it's so silly. Now I can leave an explanation in the chat afterwards if you haven't understood. Patient goes into a doctor. Doctor, I feel like a marquee and a wigwam. Doctor thinks for a second, looks at the patient and says, "You're too tense." Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nigel Q. You are too tense. Thank you. And now it is time for our second speaker. Our second speaker is Nikita Winkler. Nikita's speech aspires to persuade the audience to take on more creative projects in 2025. And now I would like to call on our evaluator, Hannah Smith. Please welcome Hannah.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Nikita is going to be presenting out of Presentation Mastery, Level 3, Project 1, Persuasive Speaking. And the purpose of this is for the member to understand the types of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Anna. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Nikita Winkler. Playtime. Playtime Toastmaster Nikita Winkler.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Gerda. Do you remember how creative you were when you were a child? I used to write poetry and make one-of-a-kind birthday cards for the people I loved. And then, some way along the way, I grew out of it. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Pablo Picasso once said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is remaining an artist as we grow up." So that means that at the core of each and every one of us, there is a creative child whose creativity is flowing boundlessly. And do you know why children are so creative? Children don't judge themselves. They don't follow rigid rules. They don't overthink their ideas before expressing them. Children are present with their feelings, their emotions, their intuition. And they seem to have one thing that we as adults seem to lose as we grow up. Can you take a guess what that is? Time. Time to play. Time to explore. Time to let the imagination run wild. As we grow up, our attention shifts. Life gets busy, responsibilities pile up, urgent tasks demand our attention. And creativity? Sir Ken Robinson says, we grow out of it, or rather, we get educated out of it. So even if we are born to create, we are taught to consume, we are taught to conform, we are taught to prioritize productivity over passion. Does that sound familiar? Life becomes a routine. We trade imagination for productivity. We trade curiosity for predictability. And we trade play for practicality. Oh no! Oh no! This might explain why we as adults sometimes feel uninspired, depressed, disconnected, empty. Even despite all the things we're doing, sometimes we still feel empty. Like life has lost its meaning. And you know what, my friends? Creativity isn't just about making art. Creativity is about making meaning. Years ago, as you may know, I am a dancer. I had a career in dance. And you'd think that I lived and breathed creativity. But I stopped creating meaningful dance a long time ago. Instead, I danced to get the job. I danced to impress the audience. I danced to pay the bills. And even though I created captivating work, it wasn't fulfilling because the little girl wasn't the one dancing. The one dancing was the adult, perfectionist, the one who judges herself and compares her creativity and is trying to meet everyone else's expectations. So all of these filters, it takes away from the spark, the authenticity. And let me tell you, these are the very reasons why you as an artist end up creatively blocked. But here's what I learned. I learned that the most creative moments, the most creative moves, they came to me when I was dancing for me, with myself, untamed and undisturbed. That is the key. That is the key to recovering your creativity. Your inner child wants your undivided attention, mommy. Your inner child wants your undivided attention, daddy. This year, I made playtime a priority. Weekly dates with my little girl child became sacred. And what I discovered, it blew my mind. I thought I could only dance, but in fact, I forgot the little girl child loves to write her poetry and make quirky birthday cards. And through our weekly dates, she continued to surprise me again and again. As I feed my inner child, she began to feed me. Friends, at 32, my soul feels like a child again. It feels like a child again. My imagination is flourishing. I feel empowered to express myself without a care. And I feel seen and loved by myself. And in the moments of feeling low, I know exactly where to find my joy. What guided me through this process of reconnecting? It's that almost, I don't know, you can't see that. Here we go. There we go. So what guided me through this process of reconnecting with my inner child was this book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. If you are ready to find your inner treasures, this is the book. This is the book that can help you, guide you to your creative child within you, the one who holds the secrets of your power. So Toastmasters and guests, let's make playtime a priority, because when you connect with your inner child, you reconnect with the most authentic, vibrant, and limitless version of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Winkler. Wow, creativity begets innovation, and creativity heals our inner child. Well done. Thank you. And now, our third speaker, Ashwati Rajan. For Ashwati, knowledge sharing is knowledge multiplied. Ashwati will share her biggest takeaway from Toastmasters. And now I would like to call on our evaluator, Renan Ercila. Renan, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, guest. Our third speaker, Ashwati Rajan, will deliver a speech under Strategic Relationships Pathway, Level 3, Project Number 7, using descriptive language in a 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing a speech with emphasis on adding language to increase interest and impact. The speaker also suggested the evaluator to focus on how well she can connect with the audience. That's all for now. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ercila. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome Ashwati Rajan, Wood Wide Web. Wood Wide Web. Ashwati Rajan.
Have you ever felt like a tree striving to grow in the middle of a dense forest, stretching your branches towards the sun, only to find yourself overshadowed by the towering giants around you? No matter how hard you try, you feel stunted in comparison to those who seem to be flourishing with ease, while your growth feels painfully slow and even stagnant. Have you ever felt like that, my dear friends? I have. In fact, not too long ago, I felt like I was struggling to survive in a forest where everyone else was thriving and no one seemed to notice or support me. After my stint in research, when I took a sabbatical, little did I know that it will be a never-ending break. Going against all my odds, I decided to challenge myself and become an entrepreneur, pursue my passion, and become an instructional coach. I strived hard, poured my energy into my personal and professional development, and yet I found myself constantly falling short. Years passed, and I am standing at the same point with no motivation, no clarity, and no success. While others around me seemed effortlessly climb higher and higher, achieving one success after another, and I was rooted in the same place, growing frustrated and feeling deeply isolated. I questioned myself, my abilities, my potential, and even my worth. How could I be trying so hard but falling so miserably? I realized it wasn't just lack of success weighing on. It was lack of support. I felt disconnected, battling alone without any guidance or shared experiences. And during this time, I stumbled upon an extraordinary fact about nature, the wood wide web. In forests, trees connect underground through vast fungal networks known as the wood wide web. This allows them to communicate, share nutrients, and support each other. They are interconnected for the health of the entire ecosystem, not just individual trees. Yet, here I was, a lone tree, trying to make it on my own, without realizing that growth depends on connection and support. That's when Toastmasters entered in my life. Toastmasters became my personal wood wide web, a community where I found the support I had longed for. I wasn't alone in my struggles anymore. I met people who had faced similar challenges and shared their wisdom, experiences, and encouragement. For the very first time, I felt connected. I felt connected to something bigger, a network where everyone's growth was intertwined. Toastmasters taught me that growth isn't a solo journey. It's about being part of a supportive community that fosters mutual growth. The speeches shared stories of resilience, nourishing my spirit. Feedback sharpened my speaking skills, building self awareness and confidence. Friendships fill the void, creating a supportive network like trees in the forest, helping me grow. And today, I may not be successful in my entrepreneurial journey, but I am striving hard with the support of people who have traveled the same path. I am guided and mentored by people with their experience and learn lessons. Today, I stand here not as a tree overshadowed by others, but as a tree that has found its roots in a supportive, thriving community. Toastmasters transformed my life by teaching me that growth is never a solitary pursuit, just like the wood wide web. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwati Rajan. Well done. Thank you. Growth is within connection. That is for sure. Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, you have heard many inspiring and captivating presentations. I would like to ask that we post the guest book so that if any guests would like to share in the guest book, or if they have any questions, they can do so. Thank you. Please post the guest book in the chat. Thank you. And now, our fourth speaker, who is Irish Casinella. I would like to call on his evaluator, Toastmaster Bindu Tangkapan. Please welcome to the stage, Toastmaster Bindu.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Godi Felix. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. My speaker, Toastmaster S. Casinella, is going to deliver speech in the pathway Dynamic Leadership, Level 4, Project 1. And the purpose is to present a speech by sharing an overview and benefit of a change management plan of a real or hypothetical situation in the speech. All the best, and over to you, Toastmaster Brady.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tangkapan. Ladies and gentlemen and fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome Toastmaster Irish Casinella, navigating the challenges to build a successful career. Navigating the challenges to build a successful career, Toastmaster Irish Casinella.
How do you climb from the bottom of the ladder to the top of the ladder in your organization? August 2006, I landed in Ulsan City, the 7th largest metropolitan city of South Korea. I was amazed. I was truly amazed with the exotic food, with the modernity blended in the tradition, with the plethora of the experiences of the local and tourists. Day 2, I reported to the largest shipping yard of Ulsan City. I reported to the main office. The South Korean supervisor handed the badge to me and said, Obe, Obe, Ichi, Sa. Obe, Ichi, Sa. That marks the start of my career in the oil and gas industry. Fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, career growth is a topic that resonates with many of us here today. It is a journey. It is a tale of difficulties and challenges, but also successes and glory. The difficulties and challenges test our adaptability and perseverance. I started as a marine technician at the bottom of the offshore organization. Let me share 4 main challenges at my early days in my career. The challenge of uncertainty, the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing. Trust me, I was paralyzed. It was through building skills, competencies, capabilities, embark in a real continuous improvement path that allowed me to overcome this challenge. The challenge of self-doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever had that nagging voice in your head, questioning you, challenging you? Nobody was questioning you. That nagging voice in your head, challenging you. I was asking myself, am I capable? Shall I deliver? It was through mentorship. And I cannot stress that enough. It is through mentorship that I did overcome the challenge of self-doubt. Workplace dynamics. I landed in Ulsan and I was working amongst over 40 nationalities. 40 nationalities. How challenging. From the office politics to personalities, 40 different backgrounds, habits, behaviors. How challenging can you survive as a young employee, changing from one job to the next in such a diverse environment? It was through being open. It was through being humble, having empathy, understanding the different perspectives of the 40 nationalities and backgrounds and so forth. Trust me, not easy. It was through being captivating that helped me to navigate through those different backgrounds and nationalities and challenges. Last but by no means the least, and that was my worst enemy, fear of failure. I was afraid I would fail, but I told myself, I shall not give up without a fight. I shall not give up without a fight. Zig Ziglar said, fear can have 2 meanings. Fear, forget everything and run. I was not going to run. Or fear, face everything and rise. I did rise from the bottom of the ladder in the offshore organization to the top of the ladder in the offshore organization. Failure is inevitable. However, most of the most successful individuals are the ones that have failed the most. I did learn with every single failure. Each one taught me valuable lessons. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, building a successful career is a bumpy road. It's not a straight path. It is through the awareness of those various challenges, the appreciation, the accepting that build us today. Zig Ziglar, he said, you do not have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Irish Cassinella. Thank you. I heard 40 different cultures and I felt giddy. So, which of course is a reason that we are here in Leadership Speak, to learn about each other. Well presented, thank you. And now, our fifth speaker, Sandra Valks. Ladies and gentlemen, our very compassionate queen of straight talk struggles like many of us who can also say we are of an age. And today, her message is for us who feel the same, other ones who feel different. So get ready to listen up, consider like you've never considered before. Before I call Toastmaster Sandra Valks, allow me to call her evaluator, Toastmaster Marie Toussaint. Welcome, Marie.
Thank you very much. Today, our speaker, Sandra Valks, will make the project Dynamic Leadership 1, Level 2, writing a speech with purpose, 5 to 7 minutes. Deliver an effective, well-defined speech on a narrow enough, captivating topic. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Toussaint. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sandra Valks. Living in the now, living in the now. Distinguished Toastmaster Sandra Valks.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back. Now, Toastmasters, let me assure you that those of us who are of an age and are still, we are here stretching and growing and leaning and learning. We're leaning into life. We are self-directed leaders, and we are building an irresistible brand collectively. A brand that says to the world that we are resilient, weather-worn, and wise. What on earth could I mean by that? Well, buckle up for some hard truths. Look around at us here, who are of an age. And for you youngins, it's a glimpse into your future. Alvin Fu, I don't know who he is, he's in LinkedIn, shared a post where he was sharing his view about the different stages of life. He referred to them as, here it goes, the 4 stages of elimination. I thought, that was a curious thought. Elimination. Elimination. In brief, they are at age 60, the workplace eliminates you. At 70, society gradually eliminates you. And at 80, family slowly eliminates you. And at 90, the earth wants to eliminate you. Well, let's take a look at each one of those. then absorb those thoughts, manage and massage them to fit into our own way of thinking. Take some time to reflect over them in the next few weeks about how you want to live. And please, please, please let it be choosing to live and choosing to live in the now. Let's take a look at them. At 60, the workplace eliminates you. That might not be exact. I mean, here I am, I'm still in my own workplace. But generally, the workplace starts to eliminate you. And no matter how successful you were during that career, you're going to have to return to being an ordinary person. So don't cling on to all those accolades. Change that mindset. There's no sense of superiority because of your past job. It's why it's so important to let go of your ego now so that you don't have to look for who you are when you're out of that work. You don't want to lose your sense of ease. You want to build it now. You want to have your sense of self now. At 70, society gradually eliminates you, and the friends and colleagues that you used to meet and socialize, I can assure you they do become fewer. And hardly anyone recognizes you at your earlier workplace. There's no sense going in there saying, oh, I used to do, this is the way we did it, because the younger generation aren't even going to know you. You must not feel uncomfortable about it. It's about accepting the real you, and the sooner, the better. At 80, family. I know you're going to throw up your hands at this one, but at 80, family slowly starts to eliminate you. Now, they're not really eliminating you, but even if you have a lot of children and grandchildren, most of the time you're going to be living with a spouse or, like me, alone. And when your children do visit occasionally, because it becomes less frequent, don't blame them for becoming less often, because they have now become what our younger people hear of, that sandwiched generation raising your grandchildren, holding down jobs, worrying about you while they're busy trying to make their own lives as well. It's a tough time. But at 80, family slowly eliminates you. Who's ready for what happens at 90? The earth wants to eliminate you. I'm on a holdout for 105, but at 90, the earth starts wanting to eliminate you. Many of the people around me have already departed, and many more will. So at this point, though, don't be so sad and mournful, because in this way, life is everyone going to have that path. And so with those sobering thoughts, am I being morbid? Maybe I'm being realistic. How do I counteract this elimination process? I'm still here. I'm still engaged. I'm still living. Well, my first idea and advice I have to you is that we accept what we cannot control and change. And then we be grateful for this wonderful adventure for as long as we're here to journey on. But we must journey on. Remember, the only ones that won't eliminate you are your current family and your current friends. Got that? Your current family and your current friends. They're the ones that are going to be here. So you have to meet more. You have to always be making more friends of all the different ages, and you have to communicate more. Say hello. When you're out on the street, when you're in the cash, say hello. Maintain your presence. Be happy. And above all, have no regrets. While our bodies are still capable, live life to the fullest. Eat what you want, drink what you desire, play and do the things you love. And above all, let the past rest in the past, the future as anticipation, and choose to live here in the now. Choose Choose to live. Choose to live here in the now. Will you come with me, Madam Toastmaster?
A resounding yes to your question, Toastmaster Box. Well done. Live in the here and in the now. Well done. And now, I hope guests, fellow Toastmasters, that you have enjoyed listening to our speakers. We have had a myriad of different subjects, all captivating, and I've enjoyed all of them. And I hope that you have enjoyed them the same. I would like to call on the timer to report in the chat, please. And also we want everybody to vote for best effort speaker. Thank you. I hope that everyone has voted.
You can continue.
We can, oh, thank you. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to call on our general evaluator. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome Toastmaster Vinal Kanti Ghosh.
Thank you so much, Alex. And what an amazing session I enjoyed throughout the day. All the audience plays a captive moments for me. And I'm totally immersed today to this meetings. Now time to evaluate all the speakers, all the evaluators, and all the role players to become the better version of ourselves. Now it's time to call upon one of the most humble persons in our club member. Yeah, Ray Rivero. She always try to do silently work. Welcome, Ray Rivero. Please evaluate the toast. Toast is already raised by Luciano. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Murnell. You know, to be honest, I was so captivated out of my role of being grammarian that I forgot that I had a dual role today. My apologies. Luciano, you asked me to take a look at your vocal variety, body language, and pauses for points. What I liked about your presentation is that you delivered your message and how your speech resonated with our theme. You presented with a lot of very good and key points, and you shared it with enthusiasm. That's exactly what we need at Leadership Speak to get things going. Get that engine revved up. Now, some of the few things that you can work on. Number one, at the very beginning, thank the Toastmaster of the day. That way, it's just a few simple words, but it's a great transition. Second, I noticed that you did a lot of gesturings. Too much gesturing, too much of a vocal variety. You don't want to distract from the message. So when you do all this, it's like all of a sudden you're not given permission to listen to you or your story, have the audience focus on you. You're given permission to your gestures. The gestures are the tool for your story, not the story itself. So you balance your gestures with the themes of the main points. Thank goodness that we record our presentations so that we could take a look at it and say, oh, why didn't I think of that? And of course, most of us don't, because sometimes we just feel like getting up, get it out of the way, and get back sitting down. You're not the first, you won't be the last. But finally, to just challenge yourself, take a look at the recording. See what you can do to balance the gestures and use them to identify your major points. It also could serve as a great way to share some pauses to let your points sink in with the audience. So find those places, reduce those gestures, and I think you're going to have a good speech become better. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ray, for your in-depth evaluations. Now it's time to call upon our servant leader of leaders to speak, Toastmaster Tony. Now Tony will evaluate our Toastmaster of the day, Felix. Tony, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and especially Gerda. Gerda, you did a lot of preparation for this as Toastmaster of the day. And in part of the preparation, you and I communicated. And one of the things you asked me to observe was, how would you handle the flow of the meeting? How would you adapt? And what type of resilience you had throughout this meeting? There's a number of things I'd like to point out quickly that I really liked. First off, it's something that Atul spoke about in the following speech, executive presence. From the very moment you came on the screen, you had that unspoken executive presence in the way that you beautifully dressed, magnificently, and that white background accented the highlights. We could see clearly your profile. And I'm wondering, how can I do that? How can I achieve that kind of presence? And part of the executive presence also is communicating clearly. Every word you have said throughout this meeting has been clear, well enunciated, and always you spoke with confidence. Part of the role of the Toastmaster of the day is to guide this meeting. And you open the meeting with describing the theme of branding. You open up the questions about Coca-Cola and Disney and the importance of branding and how it could be applied to ourselves personally. A couple ideas I have for you to consider is, and this is because I pay attention to this, mainly because I also wear eyeglasses. I have noticed that sometimes your eyes did not make contact with the camera, maybe half the time or 30%, that sometimes it was down a bit. I struggle with this. We have to keep more contact with the camera so we feel our eyes are met. And the second thing is, it's an accidental thing, is there was glare off your glasses a lot. So when you sometimes move from left to right, the glare of your glasses was noticeable. Now, one thing I really liked, and this is part of what you asked me to do, was how would you handle the flow? And at the beginning, when you jumped to the wrong speaker instead of the education speaker, that was not a weakness to me. That was a strength, because what I saw was how a leader handles something when it goes out of flow. Things don't always follow script. I look for how do leaders handle when things don't follow script. So fortunately, your team, like Paramjit, came to your assistance, and you immediately flow back into the flow with humor. You bubbled a laugh that showed your humanity, your humility, and you got right back into the flow. That's a strength. That's the kind of thing I want to do. And watching a leader like you do it gives us guidance. It's not a negative, it's a strength. overall, in summary, what we look for in leadership is how precise a leader can be, the science, and also how human a leader can be, which is art. And when someone can mix science and art together, it is a mastery. Now, it's not perfection, it's the pursuit of perfection. And that is what you showed us today. The theme of personal branding is the pursuit of perfection. And in that, Girda, you are masterful. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tony, for your valuable advice regarding personal branding. How you can create the more personal branding more impactful. And thanks for your great observations. Now it's time to call upon our laughter master, Paramjit. Paramjit, come to the podium and evaluate our leadership speaker, Atul Shankar.
Jeff Bezos said, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. And that is what Atul Shankar has conveyed in his engaging, fast-paced, informative speech. Of course, he talked about our great leader, Bam Mammon, when he was present in the room. Of course, Brahm is always great, whether we speak of the room or in the room. Atul, you have very effectively conveyed and shared that how our brand is important. Be a product or a leader or an organization. And how brand give you a value and how to create a brand and build a brand by just following few important attributes and make them principles in your life, like being honest, being authentic, being trustworthy, integrity, no excuses. This is a lot of takeaways for everyone from your speech. Of course, you also shared that if we use unbranded items, how can we have more problems? And you testimonied it with your own experience. Now, Atul, the thing which stood out of your presentation is you have delivered a very confident, enthusiastic speech using your strong voice and a variation in the tone, delivering the message with clarity. You use the Zoom box very effectively, moving from right to left, left to right, and even coming in the front when you are emphasizing your point. Of course, a little behind, if you would have a little behind, it would have more engaging with people. And your eye contact would have been more better. A thing which can help you to become a very good keynote speaker, you had a lot of material to share with us. What I felt that there's a lot of material, a lot of information, but it was not organized in a chronological order. A few of the sentences were repeated at different intervals to explain or emphasizing the different attributes and moved over to summary. And we missed your summary and even call of action, so that we could have been abreast with the knowledge you have already shared. You almost finished, I think, Green. However, it was because of the fast pace. Your pace, what I felt was your pace was very fast. Using a slow pace, as well as using pauses at different intervals, would have made it more effective, and we could have absorbed the knowledge, what you have shared with us. With your strong voice, confidence, experienced leaders, adding pauses as well as a slow pace or pitch, and chronologically making your presentation, you will become one of the very keynote speakers for Leadership Speak as well as outside of the Leadership Speak. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paramjit. I think it's a good observation. Just, I think you captured all the points. Only I just advise you just try to give one recommendations, or maybe what are the process you need to follow to becoming a keynote speaker. You mentioned about space, slow speed, then high note, no note, but when to use slow space, I think that is important, and that part you need to capture. And regarding eye contact or maybe body language, that part we need to take care of that. Excellence, I think cover all the points. I'm totally echo with you. So just for this, because you are the keynote speaker, I just want to say one thing to our keynote speaker. Just try to follow your body language whenever you are presenting your speech in the Zoom. Your body should be, because we all know that body speaks a lot of things. And today's topic is branding. Just be careful about your presentations, Zoom presence. I think that's the important things. And rest, I think you are extraordinary. Now it's time to call the next evaluator. And if you talk about the degree of this person, we need to count a lot of things. Doctor, what not? Such an amazing, authentic person in our club. Yeah, it's time to call upon on the podium, John Ujefa. Please evaluate our speaker, Nigel. John, podium is yours.
Laughter is a means of escaping stress and remaining positive. Have better humor health or health humor and share more laughter with others. And that is what Nigel told us today. Congratulations, Nigel, on delivering a very captivating icebreaker speech in which you shared with us the power of laughter in your life. It was very well-structured speech. You exceeded in maintaining a clear structure with a defined beginning. The opening was captivating. You had a good body in which you built your thesis, and you had somewhat good some conclusion. More importantly, you transitioned effectively, ensuring that we followed each message quite well. In particular, you signposted every time you want to do this, you want to go to the body, and to every next stage. You did that very well. You excelled at the structure, flow, and message very well. And in part, as I've said, you gave us a final message for us to share more laughter with others, because it helps others to improve, and as you have demonstrated how it does with you. Now, again, you also had effective pauses and pauses somewhere along the line, although a number of them could have been improved. A few areas that I will probably, again, want to make sure that you consider. First is, since this was your icebreaker, the theme of your speech is about laughter, there was a point where you actually you had props of a black hat and a red nose, which immediately I could see the audience, people were laughing. That invoked or elicited laughter. I would have liked if you started this, you had this attire on, because it's all about laughter. That would have put people in that same mood of that laughter. The second thing that I would have asked you to do is about your background. Again, as I was looking at your background, it was a little bit distractive, a little bit, again. And so, and the third thing that I also like to ask you to do is about your emotions, because as you are going through the various aspects of your story, I didn't see the emotion in your face. All in all, in summary, I enjoyed your speech. It was well structured, well delivered, and you had good conclusion, and you had good props. Consider making your background a little bit better and as well as wearing that props that you had in the middle, the clown props. I look forward to your next speech. Back to you, Madam, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, John. Yeah, John, thank you for your authentic evaluations. I also focus on only one parameter, that is, I think, Zoom background, because you deliver humorous speech. For humorous speech, I think attractions would be focus on you rather than your background. So whenever you deliver any humorous speech, Nigel, just try to focus on your background so that everybody should focus on you rather than just directly your background. And rest, I think you did a fabulous job. Thank you, John, for on the spot. I think you in-depth evaluations, you capture all the points. Thank you so much. Now it's time to call upon our next evaluator. Our next evaluator, none other than Zoom Hopper Queen, Hannah. She will be evaluating our dancing queen, Nikita. Now podium is yours, Hannah.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. The Zoom Hopper Queen, I love that word. Nikita, persuasive speaking. This was truly a well-organized and compelling speech about playtime. Both I and I'm sure the audience were captivated by your enthusiasm, your emotions, and the message you conveyed. I discovered how passionately and energetically you inspired me with your personal story. You highlighted how life can become a routine, with adults often feeling uninspired, particularly because education tends to stifle creativity. Your persuasiveness was inspiring. You danced to impress, but today you spoke to impress the audience. Well done. Thank you very much for that. Even as an adult, 32 years and older, we should occasionally feel like a child again. Make playtime a priority. Dance to impress. Write poetry to educate yourself. Your eye contact, your body language, your vocal variety complemented your message. I would like to challenge you on 3 aspects. Your timing was just over 8 minutes. Although I could have listened to your speech all the time, just be mindful of that for the next time when you prepare your speech. Displaying the title of your book was also somewhat distracting. Maybe try and practice it in front next time that we can see it clearly. And the backgrounds you used, they were effective, but the last one was a bit cluttered, and that detracted me from your call to action. And your call to action, connect with your inner child. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Hannah. So beautifully capture the each and every parameters which is required for an evaluator. But one question to you, how she can connect with the inner child? Just give 1 or 2 formula. I think that is important. Yeah, secret formula that you can mention that. So for me, I think you can talk about, I think sometimes in voice modulations, Hannah actually so slow that you can't even hear properly once upon a time. I think that part you need to mention that and be careful that. I know that's when you talk about our speaker Nikita, she is a very creative and always try to do some creativity. And you can find true essence of authenticity with her speech. That's the beauty of Nikita. So just that's why she always try to connect with the audience very quickly. And onus on us how she can do better in the next level. So for that, I think one thing is important as a evaluator, just try to understand the inner formula of Nikita. So only one thing I think she can maybe work on more on the space voice modulations. Mainly I'm talking about the better communications to better connect with the audience, slow pace and high space, to control like through AI. And Hannah, I always like your evaluation because you always try to capture all the captive moments which is required as an evaluator. Next, it's time to call upon our most youngest, or maybe one of the most new member, Renan. And she will be evaluating none other than our ex-PR master, Asati Rajan. Over to you, Renan.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, especially you, Shwati. First, I would like to congratulate you for the wonderful speech of yours. Your delivered speech was a well-structured informational story about World Wide Web, as it is also the title of your speech. I like your speech because you were able to connect this with your Toastmasters journey. I agree that Toastmasters is not a solo journey, and you need to connect and communicate to grow as a member, as every member is interconnected. Like in your speech, trees in the forest connected through fungal network and share nutrients, helping weaker trees and survive, just like in Toastmasters. I like also how you maximize the hand gestures, head and face gestures on your entire speech to illustrate and emphasize the idea that you are sharing. What I could recommend for this very informational speech, I've noticed that when you ask question at the beginning of your speech, you then immediately went on to your speech. If I may recommend, you may want to pause for a while to connect with the audience. Let the audience first absorb the question you said. And then if there is a response, acknowledge it. So you can assure of the audience engagement. Another recommendation, since it is informational speech in an informational story about World Wide Web, we want to use few visuals for us to easily absorb as your audience the idea that you are sharing about World Wide Web. I didn't know actually the World Wide Web until I heard you speaking, and I learned a lot. I want to challenge you, Ashwati, to connect more with the audience. Give them a moment if there will be responses on the question you posted at the beginning of your speech. With this, you can engage more with the audience. Another, if you may want to use a visual for the audience to easily absorb the ideas on your speech. Congratulations, as all in all, you were able to meet the requirements for this speech or to this speech requirement. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. General Bago.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Renan. You are such a strict professor. So well done. So only one thing, Renan, try to be, open up. Not so be like a strict professor. Just keep smiling. I think smiling is a huge power. I think that's important. And thank you. You captivate all the main point. Even I'm also echo with Renan that how you can connect with the audience when audience try to read something for your, try to respond that when you are speaking. And second, I think I know that you always try to maintain the Zoom background, but sometimes it's maybe some challenges you may be faced with the lightning part. I think that part you need to take care of that. And the rest, I think, a fabulous job done by you and well observation, Renan. Now it's time to call upon Doctor. Yes, it's time to call upon Dr. Bindu. She will be evaluating Aries. Welcome to the podium, Dr. Bindu.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Renan. You do not have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that's the very reason that we all have started our Toastmaster journey. Congratulations, as Casinella, for bringing that zigzag code. That was your audience takeaway message. Well done. Your speech was so captivating because of 3 reasons. The first was you were able to connect to the audience by asking a question. And any speech, if you ask a question to the audience, you really hit it. You asked, have you ever faced challenges while navigating your career? Of course, we all have, and we're still having. When you made us land one of the cities in South Korea, you gave us that language, obe, ichi, sanme. Wow. The first thing that you connect wherever you are is to learn that language. And you had faced the challenge of learning that language. You gave a personal story of your journey of starting a career in the town of South Korea and the challenges you had mentioned in 4 different topics. Great again. The topics you were uncertainty, the challenges of self-doubt, challenges that is you have to mingle with 14 different cultures. Here we have 28. So imagine half of that. And last but not the least, the fear. How could you make this captivating speech even more captivating? Of course, you had brought the project details in your speech with the rich content, the takeaway, and the introduction. What was lacking was just that Zoom presence. Most of the time you were looking down as if you're reading. You have to have that connection to the audience. You need to have that eye contact. That's a real gateway of entering and engaging them. Second was that you were telling about one of the other codes of Zigzagler, that is fear, forget everything and run. Fear, face everything and rise. You could have brought one story of yours in which you feared and you have risen. Wow. To conclude, captivating speech was a nice introduction and an audience takeaway. If you could incorporate the Zoom present, even more captivating as Casinella. Thank you. Over to you, Renan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bindu. I thoroughly enjoy your smile throughout when you are evaluating Alice and also voice. It's truly amazing. And it's a great example of smile with critical thinking. And you capture all the points. I love about one thing that you did a great improvement. So normally when you evaluate, you immerse yourself in depth evaluation, and sometimes evaluation, most of the time is over time. And I hope that this time your evaluation, you completed, I think, 3 minutes, 10 or 15. I think that's a great job done by you. That's a great improvement. I can see it. Well done, Dr. Bindu, Toastmaster Bindu. Now, it's time to call upon on the podium two straight talk queens. One is from Switzerland. Yeah, it's time to call upon Mary Cousin. And another, the speaker also Queen of Straight Talk from Canada. So just now I need to welcome Mary Cousin. Please evaluate Sandra Fox.
Living in the now was an elegant and evocative speech that used a thought-provoking double meaning of eliminate to highlight the transience of societal and familial validation. This message, underpinned by a call to embrace the present, struck a chord with the audience. Let's explore its content, structure, delivery, and body language, identifying strengths and opportunity for growth. Your speech adeptly combines storytelling with philosophical insights. The central theme of shedding outdated perspective to focus on the present was both inspiring and relatable. However, the opening could be enhanced with a personal anecdote, perhaps a moment where you struggle with elimination and reclaim the present moment. And this would help ensure the abstract ideas with tangible experiences, creating a stronger emotional connection. The takeaways were clear. The past is irrelevant and the future is uncertain. Therefore, the now is our only reality. To reinforce this, a concise summary or memorable mantra could ensure the message linger long after the speech ends. Structure. Your structure flowed logically with the progression from elimination by society to elimination by family, building poignancy. While cohesive transitioning is placing between points, perhaps with rhetorical question like, have you ever felt dismissed either by society or loved ones? Will you make the connections even more engaging? Delivery. Your vocal variety effectively emphasizes the key moments. For instance, the tonal shift when describing societal dismissal draw the audience empathy. However, your pacing occasionally falters, especially when transitioning to solutions. Slowing down during impactful statements could amplify their resonance. Body language. Your gestures were natural and aligned with your words, but at times they seem restrained. Expand your spatial presence. For instance, stepping forward when addressing living in the now will make the message more dynamic. Conclusion. Overall, this was a motivational speech with inspiring depth. To enhance its impact, start with the perspective, personal anecdote, refine transition for greater clarity, and expand physical engagement. By integrating these elements, you can transform living in the now into an unforgettable call to action. Suggesting opening. Have you ever felt invisible, like the world has moved on without you? I once did. It was in that moment I discovered something profound. The only way forward is to live fully in the now. Let me show you why. This opening immediately turns the audience in making the speech message both personal and universally relatable. Thanks, and over to you, Toastmaster General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mary, for your straight evaluation to straight queen of the straight talk. Thank you so much. I think you stolen all the point. I don't have any point to say to the speaker, but I focus on one parameter regarding the expressions and emotional connection. I think in this story, speaker can be more focused on how she connect with the emotional, more expressions to connect with the audience. You capture all the points. So only one thing, Mary, just try to, I think timeline, I think that is the most crucial component for you. You just follow the timeline. The rest, I think you are on the spot. Next, it's time to call upon virtually invisible our timer. Zinga, please post your timer's report. Thank you so much. She's already doing a dual report today, a dual role today, Sa as well as timer. Well done. Thank you so much on the spot. We need to learn the time management from Zinga. Now, it's time to call upon our grammarian. Since he is very captivating person. Now, time to call upon the podium our grammarian, Ray Rivero.
Thank you so very much, Mr. General Evaluator. I hope I can present a very captivating report on what we used, what we did well, what we can improve upon. First, the word of the day. I noticed that Werda, Nigel, Aries, and Murnau used the word of the day. Murnau, you're the champion. You used it 3 times. Everybody else used it at least once. But I noticed other words that were just as captivating. Extraordinary by Aswati, interconnected, intertwined. Plethora by Iris. And maybe we got to fit this in as the theme for one of our meetings in the future. Youngins by Sandra. Now, I did notice a couple of improper grammar usage, not too many, but I did notice it. Nigel, you said, my father, he loved to laugh. It's my father loved to laugh. It's a common technique for inexperienced speakers or nervous speakers to fill in the sentence with that. So that's not really an issue. And Murnau, it's not necessarily most newest. That's superfluous. Newest is fine. And I saw it in the chat, Nikita. I missed it. My apologies. If I missed anybody on using the word of the day, my apologies as well. Because there were so many great quotes today, both in the chat and I heard it in the speech. I'll just use some examples because I'm running out of time. Werda mentions emotions, values, and experiences. Atul mentions that leaders have no excuses. Consistency is key. And our club culture makes us stand out on the global stage. Nikita, creativity is making meaning. Aswathi, you cheated. You jumped ahead with Wood Wide Web, but explained it very well with your connectivity and support. Great. Aries, failure is inevitable. Most successful individuals are those who failed the most. Awesome. Sandra, resilient, weather-worn, and wise choose to live in the here and now. And finally, Nigel, you are 2/10. Thank you. Report completed. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. I also check out your grammar and whether there is any mistake or not through AI. You did a fabulous job. You captivated all the important points for all the speakers, all the evaluators, and all the importance. If is there a mistake also, you try to correct that. Thank you so much, Ray. Now it's time to call upon on the podium who always think critical and also analyze critical. It's time to call upon critical thinking evaluations, our master coach, Bram Memon. Bram Memon, podium is yours.
Mr. G, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am just taken aback by the amount of stuff that has been said here today about Leadership Speak itself and our members. Branding, just incredible. And quite correctly, Ray, you said that culture, our culture is strong, and that's what brands us very well. Now, why am I here? Here's the thing. Let me retract a little bit here. Branding. Let me just focus on branding. When clubs promote themselves, and they want more members, they say this is a fun space, this is a safe space. We don't say any of that stuff. Of course, it is fun, it is safe. It's not that it's not safe, of course. But what we really focus on is our branding, which is self-directed leaders. We are self-directed. The whole club, the name itself is Leadership Speak. It means, how are we speaking as leaders? When I speak, do people see me as a leader? How am I speaking? In that case, does it lead to critical thinking before I put together my content? So one of the key things in an advanced club like this, in our branding, is critical thinking. Self-direction leads to critical thinking. The strategic planning, not only of your journey in Toastmasters, but the planning that goes into your presentation, that is critical thinking. Was it present here today? We are getting much better at that. I really liked Renan's evaluation. He did right off the bat mention that this particular presentation was informational. If you remember, a presentation, informational, inspiring, persuasive, or motivational, and so on, right? And he focused on this presentation first, what it was informational, and then gave feedback based on that, and it was very effective feedback. Renan has been thinking critically very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I will leave that with you into thinking in the future about thinking critically in putting together your presentations. Any presentation that is put together like 2 or 3 days before you're presenting, there's no critical thinking in it, because that takes a lot of time to think really critically through your content and understand what you're doing here when you present. What is it for the audience? What is the audience's takeaway? That's part of the critical thinking, right? And so when in the future, let's become even better. We are getting better, much, much better since we started this training. The next training is in January about critical thinking, and we will focus on the different aspects of that. In the meantime, this is my last session as a trainer, and I'll come back as the president in a few moments and explain a bit more about a few things happening this year. Back to you, Mr. G.
Thank you so much. So throughout the meeting, I enjoy a lot. So owners will ask how we can create personal branding. I think that is important. And I totally echo with our Toastmaster of the day and also our keynote speaker from Leadership Speak. How we can create our authentic branding? We need to focus on that. Yes, we know, talk about any discuss about the Coca-Cola or any product, Apple, or maybe Nike, or any kind of those all are, I think, how we can create our own branding, that is important. So that's why actually I know it's take a lot of time to discuss about the branding. And if you ask me, this is one of my favorite topic. And as a leader, we should know your own branding and where you stand, where you want to go through authenticity, what are the process you need to follow. You should know that. And that's a great example of branding. Now I'm talking about starting from Sa. Yes, on the spot. Great energy level I can see throughout the meeting, although Zynga play a dual role today, but both the role he did fabulous. Now I'm talking to the toast. I can see the essence and feeling that correlate with our topic, the visions of our leadership speak. And he more emphasis on our club leadership speak as a branding. Yes, we all are brand. We are already as an individual brand, as a combined, as a collective, we are a brand. And that's why we are here today. Next, coming to our grammarian. I already talked about grammarian. Did a fabulous job throughout. I think he captured good points. I have already mentioned that. Now talking to him now more focus on our, mainly I'm talking more focus on Ray Rivero to evaluate the toast. I think you are on the point. Evaluate, capture all the point. I think I have nothing to add with your observation. I think great observation and great analysis through it. Although you are taking care of two roles, but it's very challenging. It's not so easy, but you did a fabulous job. Great. I think it's a synergy effect. 1 + 1 = 11 that you did today. Thank you so much. Next, coming to our servant leader, Tony. What an amazing observation. Toastmaster of the day. I have nothing to add, but yes, I also totally echo with you. That's totally resilience with you. That's the background is totally resilience with Guardia. And also you're talking about the eye contact, how she handled the flow throughout the meeting with authentic connect with all the speakers. Then you talk about this, it's time to collaborate between science and humanity to become master ourselves. So great observations and nothing to add to you. And thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for bringing such an important topic in our life. It's onus on us now how we can create our own branding. I think it's very important for us right now to create our own identity, own branding. So I urge you, because I almost evaluated all of them, nothing to say about the critical evaluation part taken by Brahm Menon. And one thing, just I request to all of you, the essence of our topic today, let's take an oath. Be the best person of ourselves. Identify your own branding, how we can create our own branding more impactful. I think this is a great time to resonate because just few days left for New Year's. I think we should have proper planning, and it's time to follow the process and immerse yourself for your own branding. Now it's time to hand over the podium to our Toastmaster of the Day, Guardia. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. A very good evaluation time. Not only you, but also everyone that you called to share with us. Well done. And now I would like to call on the thought of the day, which will be delivered today by Toastmaster Terence Ware. Toastmaster Terence.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, building an irresistible brand. As we've heard from the various speeches delivered this evening, this morning, or whatever time it is in your timeline, consistency is one of the key elements that helps us build a brand. If you've taken anything, you've not taken anything else from this meeting, that is one thing you need to remember, consistency. And that's why at Leadership Speak, you'll notice the consistency across the board. You'll notice the consistency when you watch this video, when you watch the video before this, you'll notice consistency. Another aspect is when we're talking about captivating, about building the irresistible brand, it needs to be captivating. It needs to be something that speaks of only yourself or only your brand. It's unique to your brand. Critical thinking has been mentioned, especially in this club. How are you living it? How are you doing it? How are you executing it? Guests, you're welcome to also copy this brand and live the brand that is Leadership Speak. As leaders, we're encouraged to be consistent, to show our brand and to live it, because our culture builds our brand, and as has been said by Ray and Bram, and that is one way to ensure that even when we are outside that room, when we are outside that space, someone can say, that is Leadership Speak. That is a leader. That is a person I want to be like. Go out there and build an irresistible brand. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Terence Ware. One question I heard is how to build our personal brand. And I would like to say this. If you are feeling in life that it is not, you don't feel comfortable in life, or you feel there's something to change, then it is time for a glow up. It is time for a rebranding. How do we do this? By being present to who we are, because your branding is you. In conclusion, branding is more than just a name or a logo. It's the essence of how your customers perceive you and how the world in general perceives you. With strong branding, you don't just create a product or service, you create an experience that resonates with people and stands the test of time. You, your product, your service become captivating. And now it is my pleasure to call on Bram Memon.
Mr. Zoom Master, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful meeting, Gerda, for leading this team today. We have a few guests that we need to address, and I've seen the guest book as well, and our guest Hassan Miko from Dhaka has indicated that he would like to join the club, and he's here actually. Hassan, are you there? If you can put on your video or your audio, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Hi, Hassan.
Hello.
So you've indicated in our guest book that you want to be a member, is that right?
Yes, sometime in future, I wish to.
Good, good. And how did you hear about Leadership Speak?
This time I got the link from distinguished Toastmaster Jennifer Helen Hood.
Oh, okay.
He inspired us. And I believe I received some emails from your club also in your name.
Okay. Oh, good. So you want to become a member in the future, like where in January or in a few months' time, or?
Thing is, I'd like to attend few more meetings, maybe
Sure.
I'd deliver a speech or so, and then I think I can become a member. Because I have never stepped outside our
I see.
subcontinent, so I'd
Are,
like
are
to
you
be.
are you a Toastmaster already?
Yes.
Good. Well, here's the thing. You can only deliver speeches at Leadership Speak if you're a member. No, we don't have guest speakers at the moment because our
Okay.
agenda is full. So we have 50 board members, more than that. So become a member and then but come as a guest as many times as you like. We have another member from your country, from Dhaka, Mohammed Rubel. He's also a member here. So
Okay.
all right, great. I'll connect with you later on and we can chat more.
Thank you for having me. It's
Thank
a
you for
pleasure
coming.
to.
Absolutely.
Okay. See you soon.
Take care. We'll talk soon. Our
You.
next guest that I can see on my screen is Gillian Quack. Hey, Gillian, are you there? If you can put it on your video, or Sylvia Gonga, Yuri Mesquita. You can all, if you're around, you can put on your video. Hi, Gillian, how are you? Good to see you.
Hi, I'm good. Yeah.
Where are you from, Gillian?
I'm from Singapore.
Singapore, all right. Okay, wow. So that's pretty late for you. It's like almost midnight, I believe.
Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah.
So how did you hear about Leadership Speak and what brings you here?
I know it from the Empire Toastmasters.
Oh, okay. From
And I'm here
Elias.
because I just want to get inspired by other better speakers. Yeah.
Okay. And are you thinking of becoming a member here?
Not yet. Yeah. See how. Yes.
Please do come and visit us as often as you like, and learn whatever you need to. It's a great club to just visit. We have a lot of visitors that come on a regular basis. Well, touch base again soon, Gillian, and I'll hope to see you next week.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
All right, Gillian, take care. Sylvia Gonga, are you there? Yuri Mesquita? All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've finished with our... Oh, hang a second. Oh, there it is. Hi, Yuri. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm great.
So good to see you. Where are you from, Yuri?
Nah, I'm okay.
What country are you from?
So I hear from you from was an invite from Zynga. So we receive I belong to the Cascata Toastmaster.
Oh,
I'm a
so you're
new
in
member
Angola.
since June. So I'm joining to be a Toastmaster member.
Oh, wonderful. So you're a new Toastmaster on the scene. And what are you thinking
Yes.
of becoming a member at Leadership Speak?
Maybe in the future. Not so far, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, in the future, because you're a new Toastmaster. You just recently joined, and you need to
Yeah.
sort of unpack a few skills before you can join an advanced club. Please do come as many times as you like and see what we do here, and take that back to your learnings and to your club. And we will love to see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and take care. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've covered all the guests. So just very quickly for what's happening in the next couple of weeks. December the 21st will be our last meeting. We won't be meeting on December the 28th. As per our culture, our tradition, we don't meet the last Saturday of the year. Because it's very close to the new year, people are in holiday mood, and so we don't really meet on that day. But on the 21st of December, we will be meeting. And yes, holidays. For some of you, Christmas. For most of us, holidays. Whoever is celebrating Christmas or holidays, 21st is the theme around that. We will be asking the Toastmaster of the day, who's Elena Constantino, what the exact theme will be, and she'll be working with Tony Brashett. We'll be adding to the holiday cheer with an education speech, I hope, or I think it will be around the holidays and what it means. So the 21st is the last meeting for the year. Please note that down. And then we will meet on January the 4th with an amazing education session by Nicole Miller. And of course, I'll be the Toastmaster for the day on that particular day on January the 4th. So we hope to see you then. We will be having club contests in January. Now that we've determined that we've got about 19 or 20 people in the contest, which means we can't have one contest on one day. There's just too many people. So we'll be having semifinals and then finals in January. And so not all those contests will be on Saturdays. There will be other times on which we will be having those contests, depending on the time zone you are in. Well, so we'll split it according to time zones, just like, in regionals and regional finals and semifinals in Toastmasters International. It's based on regions first, which is time zones, and then the finals is at the convention. So we'll follow similar patterns so that we can accommodate all the contests, and so we don't take up too much time on Saturdays with other meetings as well. So we'll see how that pans out. We have a team that's working on it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I will hand this back to Gerda to adjourn the meeting. Over to you, Gerda.
Thank you very much, Ram. It was a wonderful meeting, and thank you for everyone who participated in the meeting and for everyone who came. And now, by the power invested in me, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
We need to have certificates.
Certificates.
Pardon?
We need to have best speaker and best evaluator. Terence is ready.
Wow. Okay, so let's adjourn. Thank you. So can I see, do I have?
Terence is sharing. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's waiting. Ooh, our best evaluator, Bindu Tankapa. And our best speaker, Sandra Valls. Congratulations. This is wonderful and exciting. Well done.
Congratulations.